capitalists eat until the world is blurry to them. These streets are made of saliva. Some people are made of saliva too. They usually got on uniforms. While a crazy man spins round and round trying to make a record out of this mass production jungle, maybe I'll join him. Count cash and cry. These streets are made of saliva, and white sheets are worn by a building in which kids are supposed to learn how to read well. White sheets on the highway too. Another mirror needs their head on a pike. One down is just one down. But you know, you tell all this to the masses and your teacher will pipeline you. They told me I was jewelry. They told me this is jungle. Well, maybe not jungle, more like 50 machine guns planted in the ground. It's raining faces again in California. What does this say about heaven? What does this say about the people you killed? Waiting lines got so exhausted, a million minds dropped all these faces at once. If the fascists can read the lips of a giant talking in his sleep, we might as well make our demands in prison letters. Today was born the most important trigger finger in the world. Today I begun counting down the pages between now and a pile of books by a tunnel. Chicago is gonna walk out of Chicago one day. Babies that drag street signs like old toys. Today, the most important letter left prison. Babies will laugh at flags like faces who have disappeared. Maybe I'll join them. But for now, these streets are made of saliva, and we raise half-full glasses to the basements that meant nothing, and the working poor who live there. We get shot. We get white sheets on California, where the kitchen table likes to talk as much as the walls, and romance on the porch consists of hard residing. I mean, in this picture, characters talk spit, know they hard to kill. The kitchen table knows this. The porch is almost convinced that one down is just one down. This town is coming to town. A circus watching itself. Half distracted, half suicidal, thrilled children dressed as cops, thrilled children preaching and policing and intaking and hiring and snatching your money. This town's coming to town with tough trademarks to follow. Today I watch capitalism walk on water and people play dead so that they could be part of a miracle. Capitalists dropped 10 tons of barbed wire onto my Tuesday shift. We shot back at the chimpanzee pilots for the sport. The contractor has already smoked 3 cigars. Only an hour into my court appearance shift, you know, my supervisor likes the smell, says it reminds him of when he ran the streets. And all I remember is we shot back. A gated puppet dances alone. Bars and jigs says, I am the happy one of legions. Meanwhile, kids commit childhood behind this wooden plaster joints. Wire dodgers under this silly puppet, a silly puppet dancing for white heaven. Like weapon is the jacket, and precinct holds Friday hostage. We go through a fossil jaw, then see a judge, the tunnel at the end of the light. I sleep until woke by dry cereal and surrender. This holding cell only needs a giant panhandler's palm to shake us coin men around. I'm breaking my fingers from my sister's bill collection. Garage casket open, I mean all third world parallels kill openly. Breaking my lungs for my sister's rent. I'm the sculptor of construction dust. I miss cigarettes by mid-morning. I miss Hennessy by sundown. I miss murder by inches. $5 bills cherish my days outside, always behind. There's no concentration in this courtroom. Just a bunch of B-plus students living out their nightmares. How do I plead with a straight face? 2 blocks up is a reoccurring clip. Along with slavers' paraphernalia, along with an ordinary panhandler, along with ethnic parade history, along with the ethnic parade, along with 13th graders. But let's talk about the fact that 4 dead children later, I still don't have a problem beating you up in front of everybody. Let's talk about the fact that money is death. Down to my last $5 is what I call this shoe. 10 o'clock political education is what I call this dream. Hey, I got the job. Is what I call this blues. 2 days later is what I call a clip. The end. Apparently, too much of San Francisco was not there in the first place. This dream requires more condemned Africans. Or put another way, state violence rises down. Or still life is just getting warmed up. Or army life is looking for a new church and ignored all of the suggestions. Or folktale writers have not made up their minds as to who's going to be their friends. This is the worst downtown yet. And I've bought a cigarette everywhere. I've taken many a walk to the back of a bus that led on out the back of a storyteller's prison sentence, then on out the back of slave scars, but this is my comeback phase. I left my watch on the public bathroom sink and took the toilet with me. I threw it at the first bus I saw eating single mothers half alive. It flew through the bus line number, then on out the front of the White House. Hopefully you find comfort downtown, but if not, we brought you enough cigarette filters to make a decent winter coat. A special species of handshake lets all know who's king and what's the lifespan of uniform cloth. This coffin needs to quit acting like those are birds singing. Rusty nails have no wings, have no voice other than that of a white girl dying. Book pages in the gas pump. Catchy, isn't it? The way 3 nooses is the rule. The way potato sack masks go so well with radio codes. Or the way condemned Africans fought their way back to the ocean only to find waves made of 1920s burnt up piano parts, European backdoor deals, and red flowers for widows who spend all day in the sun mumbling at San Francisco. Red flowers, but what's the color of a doctor visit? There are book titles in the streets. Book titles. Like Hero, you make a better zero. Or Fur Coat Lady, the president is dead. Or Pay Me Back in Children. Or they hung up their bodies in their own museums, and other book titles pulled out of a drum solo, Run Here Hero, Lied to Hiding Place. All the bullets in 10 precincts know where to go. There's no heaven or any other good idea in the sky. Politics means people did it, and people do it. Understand that when in San Francisco and other places that was never really there, that this ocean thinks it's an ocean. But it's not. It's just 60 Mission Street. I don't know who's king of thin things. Like America, I'm proud to deserve to die. I'm gonna eat my dinner extra slow tonight in this police state candy dispenser y'all call a neighborhood. No set of manners goes unpunished. Never mind a murderer's insomnia or the tea kettle preparing everyone for police sirens. I am off to go make a church bell out of a bank window. Kitchens meant more to the masses back in the day, and before that we had no internet. Somewhere in America the church bus is running on time. You're going to want to lose that job before the revolution hits. Somewhere I won't be home for breakfast. Everyone out here now knows my name and I won't be turned against for at least 4 months. The cop in the picket line is a hard-working rookie. The sign in my hands is getting more and more laughs. It says the picket line got cops in it. I can take care of those windows for you if you want, but somebody else got to go on your gas tank. It was clear to the man that rich people talk too much this year. Go ahead and throw down that marble park bench everyone's looking up at. You know, get the Romans out of your mind. Maybe a good night's sleep would have changed the last 20 years of my life. Playing the instrument is like punching a wall. What would you have me do? Replace the population? Give brotherhood back to the winter? Stop smoking cigarettes with the barely dead? You know, they listen in on the Sabbath. Police called the police on me. There was a white candlestick beneath my detention. I ruined the soup again, thought the judge. As he took off his pilgrim robe behind the white people's door and more. I didn't get lucky, I got what was coming to me, he told. Fight me back, the man said, of course to himself. Washing windows with a will to live, tin can on his left shoulder, enjoying the bright brand new blight along with all party goers, both supernatural and supernaturally down to earth. What is this elevator traveling side to side? Like 1,000 bitter Polaroid pictures that you actually try to eat. All the furniture on this street is nailed to the cement. Cheap furniture, but we have commitment. This morning, an essay opens the conversation between enemies. Why? Because you control every grain of processed sugar between here and the poor man's border. Because in a tin can on my left shoulder, I can hear the engines of deindustrialization. You should get in a painting, you know, tell lies more deeply. This month, I'm rooting for the traitor. Carting cement to my pillow. Here we will build. I'm high again, not talking much. Climb up the organ pipes to our apartment floor. I'm out again calling everything church, singing along to a courtyard, thanks to a horn player's holy pastime. I'm just putting a real jacket on. It's talking about a real 5 years. You know, keep memories like these in my pocket next to the toll receipt. That man lost a wager with the God of good causes, you know, stood up for himself a little too late, maybe too early. I can still see 20 angles of his jaw zigzagging through the cold world of deindustrialization. There's an art to it. I'll tell my closest friends one day. Milestones on the phone. You can tell by my tires that not everybody who's driven with me is still alive. Also, that I like my drinks neat, bottled, and in a bus stop. Also, that we drowning in precinct paper, department store floor plans, and applications to the moon. We can change the color of our snot from gifted to heart attack. I'll tell you about ashes, but where are all these angels coming from, smelling like the cigarette that failed? And why is the man on the safe side of these headlights freezing up? You got nothing to say at my funeral, I'll speak on your behalf. Heroin in my smile. Mountain made a flatland robbery. Among some things on my mind, the last store run in the name of shared afterlife, Friday to the filter, I am a tall tale on earth. But here is to that angel that never appeared to America, and a night of dog paddle, and a batch of hangovers looking for a home. A liar wouldn't have lived this long. It's my humor when fences speak. Owning a pair of rambling dice that got unique tempers and young souls that say shut up about our city. Here tidal months crash over a coast up Mississippi sleeve while I. The streets teeth are in pieces. There's reservoir art on the faces of stragglers. There's sad news from back home that means we gotta grow up on his behalf. Stumble back to a car full of last stand. The truth is still, but still liquor. Mission Street will be proud of me. I'm a mural man, almost organized. Remember when my lungs would wake up last, walking all morning if it was worth it? Man, I'm 3 decades homeless. Reservoir art is all I ever see. And I am 2,000 miles from my first fight. Maybe no one really survived. Maybe I wrote my first poem for no reason. There were hammers in my cradle, which made some people scared to check on me. Because God would have a devil, and State Street would have a resurrection, and I would be a menace to veins that the city protects with precinct flesh. You know, people actually working married here. The sun actually comes up. You heard of one of our ghetto dwellers? Bang, they all duck. Well, look what the heathen drug in. What is that, my bullet? Who is that, your son? Have you heard the one about last names? Did you know that late night talk is the car door to the soul? I don't think we've been here before. It's some type of criminal heaven controlling every headlight for miles. The journey has pain, it's the way I came. My name is on this sea. Royalty among minds would be my right hand. Or it'd be a brand new hammer, a wolf traveling at the speed cities in, interpretations of shot men. You know, hands are the only place souls are actually found, and fists get a road trip too. Maybe you should mind me. Or maybe I paid too much attention to this black coat as I was growing up in a wrong lit room. At least the walls was nice, guys. At least I had this seat. At least I got this ocean when her words freeze and central time is up. When my family relapses into suicidal neighborhoods and can't depend on me. When black children are sad. When there are guns everywhere. When death is here and I'm a new kind of nearsighted. And she's a new kind of lovely death is. Writes the front yard passes, people getting beat up. I'm not paranoid enough. You got a taste for violence. I've winked at 3 funerals. The Lord gave his only begotten temper to me. Dev knows me by nickname. I call her nothing cute. Lord, let me see the enemy in my circle. Let me see that the enemy is my circle. Let my circle kill me, let me not stay dead. I know who I am down to the street signs. Streets pass my life back and forth. Pass me into gambler jokes and cigarettes. And I am thinking this is what you call driving at night. But this is what you call 35 miles away. Freeway and all smeared all over the city. Tell me, how you write letters with a building on top of your head? With a building feasting on you? With 1,000 backs turned to your kids? Without a subtle gesture to interpret? In the middle of a backfired resurrection with a president who was out to kill you? I only got one gun to speak of. Still we sleep good in August. Nobody talks back in traffic. Interestingly handsome bastard had to match a violent song on him like a hi-hat on its own motherless. No less of a child, project child become tires, choirs, suck down liquor. 5 floors become audience for a dancing killer. You just a dancing killer. Mid-water walk, outlined all over the state. Seen a bullet become a cheapskate. Bodies in a bargain, handsome but hardened prison era. Spanish sales, black as well. Run tell about my level. What you seen me do to water, and what you seen me do to men. Last of a dying group of friends. Another city ends. You know, we had the funeral in the garage, but I think he was long gone. A narrator on distant rooftops smoking with new friends. From beyond the vigil skyline, serious footwork can be seen, especially when loose acquaintances look at the flowers and candles with opera violence on their minds. Introducing you to the colony when the concrete was in its prime and not for shuffles. 2 different dates share the same daylight. We slow walk from the corner store into a flashback, thus doing most of the talking about weird wars on the streets and who's fixing the drinks tonight. Whoever is must be suicidal. There's a chessboard underneath these tough guys. From beyond the vigil's jungle is the easy side of autobiography. You know, a pretty interesting place to start a war from. Front yards are for having problems with the world. It's the easy range for the angel, everything under the sun. That's right, chump. I can cut my throat with the sun. Hold your breath on my street if that's what you've always done. I'll tell you what his eyes say. They say all dust eventually has to be human. In his pockets is winter already. Knuckled in risk and slime. In street green letters here lies in half asleep young skin and tattered page 1, page 1. All staircases are open air and will be the first to talk at the poor so will it. Page 2, just pieces of subtitle, mouths talk last. Page 3, someone's dead already. Someone's taught him a sign. Page 4, every system is suicidal, the poor so will it. Bus loops his route, last stop already. Let us sleep again, it's all staircase here. And I remember when he was eye to eye with the lowest branch, crying breath into the hand of an avenue. Our shirts made somewhere in the land of first hand. Trash wasn't yet trash. Running away never really was running away. Shoes would witness an informal prayer. Something like, I know you see me, what should I call you? I'll never be anything you need to forgive. And we've been through heaven years ago. Heaven becomes our street shoulders, which are his, which is a homegrown cadence. On a city bus, rubber and brief aisles, he was the saint of strays. You know, the first story you learn in San Francisco. Moving with sleight of street, which is his. My little brother slides. The smoke says still. No, a lot of God can happen in 3 seconds. Not much heaven though. Here is a man before a fight, a leave me alone type character, emerging from the penniless death of a one-way street fiction. It's just like saying I'm going to make it, even if I gotta drive backwards. All I got is chord changes and 1,000 backhands, driving the street like I'm choking it. Car full of nephews, hasn't been a son since November, and there hasn't been a street I can't choke to death. This city better back down. You see this gun on the table, and something about staring until it all feels stable. Why wouldn't I protect everyone? All my death sleep late. My son better be quick. My daughter better shoot first. You see, we fold for no one. We fold for nothing. Okay? First thing you'll feel is the heat, this lady was telling me. Telling me about possession. Drink like neat is what I mostly hear. And most of the world leaves me alone. To breathe smog like a giant. To go to jail every once in a while when the genocide kicks up in late May. When politicians have too easy a time. I'm gassing backwards out a one-way street in honor of myself. And in honor of you. If you understand the nature of the world. How long I've been just like my father? One hell of a resemblance, says the anxiety of that neighborhood. This is Crossroads narrative. So much crossroads, they got in the habit of turn back, only find themselves remembering me, but not my last words, the man before a fight. You feel the heat. There ain't nothing to keep in mind, nothing to remember, really nothing to be. Just this moment, then another, then stare, then it all becomes stable, then the table legs go fuzzy and Friday's an unfamiliar face peeking in the window. It's cool to panic for a second. Composure is wasted on your worst enemies. People are marked on that sidewalk. You the only thing like size. Everybody knows this in a wire hanger empire. When the blood stops walking, this feeling isn't father enough to be permission to fold. You better swing one more time. That father of yours rose from the grave. He said, just give me 5 more minutes. He said, running water is a myth. It's us who are running up, down, and all alongside this water. And people don't rise from the grave. You're not laid down either. It's us who flip all around their bodies. So beware when the people around you look like they're all about to jump. It might be your time. You'll feel the heat. And when 4 walls demand to be 4 walls, when the earth outside mutes, don't panic. Don't try to recreate the earth outside. Don't tell jokes to yourself. Don't even talk disrespectfully to the 4 walls. Instead, unclench your fist and walk away. There might be heaven if you understand the nature of the world. I'm knowing the end of the point. I have one more thing to say. Guided by teeth goes the country. There's a cow's mouth on the flag. A peculiar notepad holds street life dear, but the writer's not here. Somewhere talking to tombstones about the good old days, or splashing reborn water on his latest face. Wondering how his old gun is doing in the afterlife. Wondering how much death trap is in those gas station hours. It got to be $1 million a day on this concrete island. New engine in the moon while it never goes down. I mean 72 straight hours a night. At least according to everyone's posture around here. 8:30 in the morning is really 30 minutes to closing. The city shuts down for a sleepy rat race. Elevators shoe shuffle to the nearest heaven, laughing with rats the whole way up. Scabs everywhere. In puddles of city, in concentrated schools, in TV-lit warm rooms, the light reveals military fatigue when it hits just right on the ties that are wrapped around the necks of lazy white guys. Empire is too easy. Chant at the walls all summer if you feel like it. Best way for a target to move is shooting back. Running for a tree line made of freeways. Wisdom says against a war machine on Tuesday you stand no chance. But may we be the last poor men to play it safe. Cow's mouth on the flag. A politician raises his hand and the crowd shows their teeth. An oligarch raises his hand and little girls are not safe outside. You are all high, depressed, and comrades in function. 15 minutes to closing in the city has survived another rebellion. Stay down. We just paying dues by trash fires, not just anybody can set. Don't you love how deadly things whisper in the moment and men kill like feathers fall while everybody's screaming inside? The writer knows. But death is not a matter of dignity, rather humor. In a house that smells like roast races, nuclear percentages on torn stoves, and here life never was. Just lazy matches and manic inhumanity, hands rushing away from life towards stoves. What are we doing here? Survival. For no reason in particular. There's nobody gone far today. Nobody will go far tomorrow. Trust me, hell and heaven can't count. Strange gardens with secondhand clothes play, and concrete wishes to be human so that it could be a cannibal. Well, they find you drenched, and drains wish to be human so that they could be worthy arms for you to die in. Greet them all, grandson. Prepare for the day when every child is coming. Don't say we ghosts didn't write you a poem. Don't say we didn't dig your life. Remember the shotgun by the coat rack that everybody in the house knows how to use. Remember the tightrope made of needles for walking in between driveways and man-made best friends. Go ahead, grandson. Tune the street again. Never mind, this country kills musicians first. Broken neck nights, scarred neck life. If these walls could write lyrics, they say, what's your angle, angel eyes? 30 to 50 rounds pass by. On a street with no daughters, this street has no sons, just young prisoners of war in a racist city that means to make capital. And we know so much, we know it all, we were stood against walls. Who's on the third cross around here? cow's mouth, salivating over the street. And that is the story of why we aim at teeth.